Before this video begins, I want to say spoiler warning because I will be mentioning a few spoilers here and there during my review of Detective Pikachu. I hope you enjoy. Pika Pika! Yo, what's up everyone? Trayman1 here. We're back with another Pokemon movie review. This time we're covering Pokemon Detective Pikachu that just released in theaters the other day. I know I haven't covered Detective Pikachu much on the channel, but I have been watching the trailers and I've been really excited for this movie, and I actually got to see it just yesterday. So I'm going to be going over my thoughts on the characters, the plot, just Pokemon in the real world, and just overall why I love this movie so much and why I recommend you all check this movie out. Now, Tim was one of my favorite characters in the movie. I really do like how they portrayed Tim's character. You know, it was really interesting to see his past on when he turned 11 and how he wanted to become a Pokemon trainer and everything that went down with his father. It was like they really portrayed the emotional aspect of this movie really well. I do gotta say it was really nice, you know, getting to know Tim as a character, seeing him grow a bond with Pikachu throughout the entire movie. He started out kind of being like a grouchy, didn't want to be bothered with Pokemon, but as the movie progressed, he really grew to love him, sort of like May a little bit, but I really do like how they handled Tim throughout this entire movie. Also like how, even though Rhyme City isn't like a traditional Pokemon area, like we still get to see some traditional things from the games and the anime. For one, we literally get to see trying to catch a Pokemon in the very beginning, which is really cool to see a Pokeball in live action and see how it works and how they break out of the Pokeball and everything. That was really cool. When they mention that in other regions, people in Pokemon, they battle together and do tournaments and stuff, we get to see a trainer that could either be Red or a Boy Ash. I think that they were leaning more towards Red because he wore like the overall design looked more like Red, but Red and Ash are based on basically like the same character, so it could have been either or. It was still a cool, nice little reference in the very beginning to see this Pokemon trainer. The trainer didn't have a Pikachu out, so I don't know. It probably wasn't neither of them because we know Red and Ash both are known for having Pikachus, but it was still really cool to see that as well. I feel like this movie was a great way of introducing people who aren't really, you know, big Pokemon fans or know much about Pokemon to Pokemon, because they even show off battling a few times in this movie as well. So it's kind of like, it's an introduction. They're more focused on the overall Pokemon world itself mostly, but they do still keep a lot of the old features, and they actually had paid attention to a lot of great detail. Like, you can tell that they took the time and effort into like getting everything right for this movie, because they were mentioning, they didn't not necessarily say recoil, but Tim was like, Pikachu, go for Volt Tackle. That's your strongest move. Pikachu's mentioning Volt Tackle will take me out, and actually when he does use Volt Tackle, we see the recoil happen. As we know, recoil is like the after effect of using this move, so that was cool. I wasn't expecting them to actually go into detail with recoil. Tim ends up mentioning that Pikachu can use 4 moves and stuff. It's like there was a lot of stuff, attention to detail that they took into this movie, which I really loved. Also love how this movie isn't just Gen 1. Like we do get to see a lot of Pokemon. I think we at least see one Pokemon from every generation up to Gen 7, which is really cool. So it's like, yeah, they're not like forgetting the other Pokemon. Sadly, I think the only Gen 4 Pokemon we see is Torterra, which is kind of crazy because we even see more Alola Pokemon than we did Gen 4. So that was pretty interesting, in my opinion. Also, when you go watch this movie, you're not going to know what to expect, because the guy who I thought was going to be the villain was actually a really good guy. So like, you really don't know what to expect in this movie because a lot of the twists and turns and everything, literally throughout this entire movie, I'm sitting like, whoa, what? Really? Like, this whole entire movie was just an amazing, not only Pokemon movie, but detective style movie, because it does keep the detective style. 2 other amazing characters in this movie were Lucy and Psyduck. Good old Psyduck. It was like, it really did resemble Psyduck from the original series, where the whole headache thing, we get to see a lot of nice funny moments. Peach was like, oh, no, it's gonna blow up and stuff, and it's really funny. Lucy was an interesting character. I love the little like shipping moments that Pikachu was trying to get Tim to go talk to Lucy and stuff. That was like really funny and totally relatable, because it's like, you know, he was nervous or just like he was messing up. Pikachu was like, have you ever spoken to a woman before? So it's like, it was really funny seeing those type of moments as well. Now let's talk about Mewtwo. Mewtwo looked amazing in this movie, and it sounded even more amazing. I feel like, oh, Mewtwo looks awesome in this movie. Now it's interesting with Mewtwo's story because Mewtwo in the original series or in the games hasn't really been shown to be able to fuse people in Pokemon. So I'm guessing this is just a plot that they did for the movie, which I think it's okay. Like, I don't have an issue with this whole Mewtwo fusing plot because it made a really interesting story. Like, I know in the Detective Pikachu games, they don't end up finding Tim's dad in the end, but in this movie, Tim's dad is, inside of Pikachu. So it is a bit different from the original Detective Pikachu game as well, because I don't think that's the case for that game, but it's still pretty interesting along the way. The trailer really made it seem like Mewtwo was going to be like the villain. And they actually did a lot of CGI editing for the trailers to make us, not get spoiled. Because the scene where Mewtwo burst out of the Pikachu balloon, it looked like it's just Mewtwo, but actually Mewtwo's wearing a device that transferred basically the villain of this movie's mind into Mewtwo's, and he's basically controlling Mewtwo in the scene. So yeah, I did not expect that to be the plot of this movie as well. And the one Pokemon that I legitimately did not think was going to have any importance, like we seen it early on, and it's just like, okay, cool. It was a Ditto. It was Ditto because my gosh, they actually showed Ditto going crazy in this movie, actually being a really big threat. And the whole father and son thing with the two villains, like the villain and the villain's son, made me think, okay, the son was actually the villain, but no, Ditto ends up disguising as the son throughout the majority of this movie. So it's kind of crazy to think that, wow, he had all of this planned out to begin with. Mr. Mime was amazing in this movie. Like, straight up amazing. If you don't like Mr. Mime before watching this movie, I think you're gonna enjoy the character, especially the very last scene that we see Mr. Mime with, where it's just like everybody's like, "Oh my gosh!" I won't say too much about it because you guys got to experience it for yourself. But yeah, Mr. Mime was amazing in my opinion. The Pokemon all looked legitimately really good in the real world. Like, we get to see all the Bulbasaurs come together. They all looked amazing, like especially in their own habitats. I really do feel like they tried to, do a really nice, cute factor with a lot of the early Pokemon like Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle. And it really did fit nice with the whole surroundings of this movie. Like, the CGI, I gotta say, was completely amazing. And they could go and use these models and portray emotions so well. Like, the scene where Pikachu was just straight up sad talking to Tim about, trying to find his father because they think he actually died. It was just, you could see and feel how sad Pikachu was in that moment. The emotions, they really did a great job animating all the Pokemon, showing emotions and everything. They even went all out of their way of showing not one, but two evolutions in this movie. And Magikarp to Gyarados was freaking awesome because they even poke fun, like saying, it's a Magikarp, it doesn't do anything. Pikachu's like, no, Magikarp can do something. We just gotta, bring it out, bring Gyarados out of it. And after a while, he comes out and it's like, whoa, this is awesome. And there was one point in this movie where I actually thought they were gonna show Mega Evolution, like maybe new Megas, because when they were in the lab trying to figure out, what happened with Pikachu's past and where's Mewtwo and stuff, like we get to see like this DNA stuff, and it's like, okay, this kind of looks like Mega Evolution sign. They show Greninjas and Torterras, and they're trying to evolve, they're trying to practice and mimic evolution. So I'm thinking, wait, do they know about Ash Greninja? Are they trying to make Ash Greninja happen, or are they actually trying to Mega evolve like Torterra and Greninja? Are they about to reveal new Megas or something? I didn't know, but they actually did something where they changed the Greninjas, like they made them more evil, and the Torterras, they basically made the Torterras like huge. Like it's really interesting to see like this concept because they changed the Pokemon, and I'm guessing it happened over time. This also leads to the question: how big is this facility that they're at? Where they're practicing all this stuff on these Pokemon and stuff, like the DNA testing and all that. Like, it's kind of cool. It was really cool to see that. And I didn't think those were Torterras either at first. I was wondering, wait, what's going on? Is a Pokemon using some type of weird move, or is like, are they seeing an illusion from Zoroark or something? But no, it was actually the Torterra, so it was kind of bizarre to see, and it was actually kind of cool. I know a lot of y'all may be wondering, why are they cage fighting in the Pokemon movie? Like, like I said earlier, they do have regular Pokemon battles and tournaments. Like that's a regular in the Pokemon world. They mention other regions like Kanto and stuff. But here in Rhyme City, they don't do Pokemon battles. So the cage fights are basically like secret. They're secret ways of people in Rhyme City to come and battle. And the Charizard, it actually is so vicious in battle because basically his trainer gave it some of that R stuff. The R is like, it makes the Pokemon all aggressive. This is really important to the plot with how they try to fuse the Pokemon and the humans and everything. So yeah, this R stuff, it was really interesting. I know a lot of people were hoping Team Rocket, but the R chemical is actually in the Detective Pikachu games as well. So that's something you gotta actually remember as well. Now the big plot of it all, of Tim's father actually being in Pikachu, ends up getting solved at the end with Mewtwo and everything. And this one thing that I was kind of like, oh no, because yes, I'm happy that Tim and his dad got reunited and that his father is back. You know, he's safe, he's out of Pikachu. But I got sad because Pikachu was just saying his regular Pikachu's noises and it wasn't speaking anymore. And I'm just thinking to myself, wait, why can't Pikachu and Tim like hear each other anymore? Because I would have really liked if, you know, after all this was resolved, we still get to see Tim and Pikachu speaking. Because when they did the fusions, it was the humans that were in control of the Pokemon. But I think when Mewtwo fused Tim and Pikachu's father, I mean not Tim's father and Pikachu, like that was Pikachu itself that was doing all these things. Because it was saying how he had amnesia. It felt like it was actually the Pikachu itself and not Tim's dad throughout this whole movie. So I'm thinking to myself, wait, does Pikachu not remember any events that happened in this movie after the movie was over? I kind of wish it kind of stayed with Tim too. Yeah, no, Tim's father is Pikachu's partner, but it would have been cool to see, you know, Pikachu actually decide to stay with Tim. Yeah, they're all going to be living together now because Tim at the end decides to stay with his dad, which is really nice. I'm guessing he's going to try to become a Pokemon trainer now as well. But I just really wish Pikachu could still talk to Tim. Like, that would have been cool to see at the end of the movie. Like, what we're going to do now, Tim, or something like that. But yeah, there are a lot of references in this movie. Like, for one, they end up mentioning Mewtwo broke out of a lab in Kanto 20 years ago. Making me think, oh wait, so if this is referencing like the first movie or just Mewtwo's creation as a whole, when I mean Ash, if this was in the anime world, Ash would finally be aged. He's actually 30. But yeah, they don't really mention if this is following like the anime world or the game world. All we know is Mewtwo broke out 20 years ago in the lab in Kanto, which they probably were referencing, you know, the first movie. Cause this year is 20 years, like the 20-year anniversary of the first movie. So I wouldn't be surprised if they actually were trying to reference the first movie in that moment right there. And one line from Lucy really caught me off guard because there was a reporter lady who was about to report on basically the Pokemon festival that they're about to have, and the lady's like, can you go fetch me a cup of coffee? And she's like, all right, Cynthia. And I'm like, wait, Cynthia? Wait a minute. You can't just say, all right, Cynthia, and then just keep moving. Like, I'm thinking to myself, is this supposed to be Pokemon Sinnoh's champion Cynthia? Or is this, I don't know. A lot of people said they think she was just poking fun at the lady because she had the long blonde hair and she was wearing all black like the champion Cynthia. But at the same time, when I looked at the cast, it said her name was Cynthia McMaster. So I'm thinking, is this Pokemon champion Cynthia that we're seeing right here? Or is this just another Cynthia in this world? I don't know. I do think that could have been possibly champion Cynthia. But yeah, that was a nice, cool scene as well. Overall, the entire movie was just spectacular from the beginning to the end. There are a lot of great, funny jokes in this movie. A lot of jokes for like older viewers as well. So it's like, it's not really just, you know, playful young jokes, but it's actually many jokes for older viewers that you like a lot of the younger fans probably won't catch. Especially with Pikachu. Pikachu was just amazing in this movie. Like, I still do love just this overall Pokemon world that they build. And yeah, we didn't get to see like a lot of Pokemon in this movie, but still, they did really build up the world. We got to see Pokemon living in the wild, and you know, just the overall Pokemon world. Like, this is what you would imagine when you're a child, when you're thinking, what if Pokemon were in the real world? And that's what this movie is right here. So it's really amazing. And not just that, but the overall story is great as well. Like, this movie is not just a fan service with like all the Pokemon, but overall it's a really nice story. And I could see this being built up to a sequel. Like, I really do hope we get another Pokemon live action movie within the next 2 years from now, because how great this movie was. Like, this movie showed that they can do a live action Pokemon movie and it can be really, really well, like story wise, the Pokemon just overall, and keeping true to the story. Like, they do keep a lot of stuff. Like, when you guys hear about the recoil, like I said, and the 4 moves and stuff, it's gonna be cool seeing that they actually recognize all this stuff. Like, they actually took a lot of time to make this movie and get it perfect, which I really love. In the comment section down below, though, let me know what you all thought about the Pokemon Detective Pikachu. If I had to rate it, I'll give it a 9.5 out of 10. It was a great movie. Only reason it wasn't a perfect 10 was because, like I said, with Pikachu, I wish he could still talk to Tim at the end. It's still, like, that's the only kind of confusing part. It's not confusing, but it's more like so wait, does Pikachu not remember anything that happened on their journey? But that's not too bad. Like, other than that, all the characters, you're gonna fall in love with all the characters, and just even at the end, you're gonna want to see them more. So it's like they do a great job building the characters. The Pokemon, all amazing. The story, amazing, beautiful. It's gonna be a lot of plot twists that really get you excited or off your seat. Like, wait, what? This happening? That's happening? Like, it's overall just a nice combination of a lot of things together, built into one movie. But yeah, if y'all have already seen the movie as well, please let me know in the comments what you thought of it. Thank you all for watching, and I hope y'all enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. TreyMan1, peace out.